God told Abraham, have a son. Go to your wife and have a son. Now, of course, Abraham, at this point, he's like 80 years old. His wife is 70, and she doesn't think she should be having children. So she rejects Abraham's line, which has got to be a pretty good one, If you really want sex, and you just go up to her, hey, God told me we're supposed to have a son. But she rejected it. But she had this brilliant idea, so that she would just send the maidservant, Hagar. So Abraham ends up having sex with his, 16-year-old maidservant. Whew! Swing! That must have been pretty exciting for him. He said, wow, I got the wife's blessing, and so he had sex with Hagar. She has a son, Ishmael. And for a while, this was great. Abraham was very happy. He had a son, and for many years, they lived together. It was great. But, Abraham's wife was so consumed with jealousy, and it was so impossible for them to live, and he was concerned for Ishmael and Hagar. He loved the mother of his child, but they had to send them away for their protection. And except for just a few provisions, she was pretty much left on her own to just raise her own child out in the wilderness. She found her way, and she managed, but still had to be a lot of resentment there. And of course, Ishmael became the line, which gave rise to the Muslim, the people of Muhammad. So there is the legacy already built in, and you can see the internal strife already caused by God's insistence that Abraham have a child. So Abraham lost his son. But he also was asked by God to go back to his wife and have a son. God was insistent, and of course Abraham was the obedient son, the obedient servant, and he went to this, and this time his wife accepted, all right, I guess we'll see if I can get pregnant. Well, she does. She has a son. They have Isaac. Isaac becomes the lineage of the Jewish people. So this is a major break right here in Abraham's house. All because God wanted Abraham to have a child. So now he ends up with two sons, which is great. And that builds up two nations, and they never got along ever again. So now I can't generalize because that would be wrong. But that's actually not the part. So far, so good. God just wanted that, and Abraham did as he was told, and he had two sons. In so doing, Abraham looked favorably on God. And so Abraham had his second son, Isaac. He would work with him, and, the boy was growing just fine, and, he was around 12 years old or so when God asked Abraham to do something for him. Once again, God demanded obedience, and Abraham understands what that means. Oh, yes, I have to be obedient. So what does he do? He asks Abraham to kill his son Isaac. Abraham, ever the obedient servant, does exactly what God says. Okay, without question. Okay, whatever you say, God, I got to kill Isaac. No, absolutely no reason for it. Just to test Abraham's obedience. This guy's just gone through quite a lot. And now he has to kill his son. ties him down on some altar and is about to slaughter his own son. And God finally intervenes and says, no, don't do it. I just wanted to see if you would do it. God, the Father, the worst dad ever. Unbelievable thing to ask of anyone. Abraham does what he's told. And of course he doesn't kill Isaac. And Isaac goes on and has 2 children of his own. And that, of course, gives rise to Israel. Great story. Good stuff. But, once again, God's acting like a total ass. He is a completely horrible father. But what do the faithful do? No. They think this is an inspiring story about the importance of obedience to God. Unbelievable. I mean, they keep rationalizing and keep defending this abusive dude. It's unbelievable. Okay, one more story, kind of related. Sodom and Gomorrah. Apparently, Sodom and Gomorrah is like the most evil place in the universe. And it seems like that's where angels wanted to go. Man, for a good time, go to Sodom and Gomorrah. Yeah. Because within Sodom and Gomorrah was, of course, the most wretched city ever. It's so bad. It's so horrible, so evil that God gets off his transcendent throne and comes to earth for the specific purpose to destroy Sodom and Gomorrah. And Abraham gets wind of this. And he tries to step in and says, "Well, wait, what? Oh, God, what are you doing? What are you doing? Why are you wiping out millions of people?" Actually, I have no idea what the population is. But he's going to wipe out 2 cities. This is a major center of humanity here. About to be wiped out. And Abraham steps in. Now, God is all-powerful and all-knowing. And for Abraham to step in, knowing that God is all-powerful, all-knowing, and he's everywhere, there's no way he can stop God. But for whatever reason, he tries. Because he doesn't understand God's insistence on beating the crap out of humans all the time. If they are given free choice, and they're making these choices, why are you destroying them? You gave us the free choice in the Garden of Eden. Why do you keep doing this? Let us destroy ourselves. We're choosing what we're choosing. So it is a mystery to me, as the devil, why God kept intervening. Let me keep trying. Say, this is not working? Is that what God was doing? No. God knows everything. He's all-powerful. He could make anything happen at all, anywhere. And he keeps intervening because human beings just aren't getting it right. Well, I thought the whole point of free will was for human beings to try to figure out the goodness in them and follow that path, or to follow the path of evil. But he keeps changing the rules here. So it must have been a little confusing to Abraham why he's doing this again. Why are you doing it? Why are you going to wipe us out again? Anyway, God humors Abraham because, he's a good, loyal servant. Okay, Abraham, I'll let you have your voice. You can stand up to God. That's fine. And Abraham kind of does a little bargain. Said, God, please don't kill everybody in Sodom and Gomorrah. I promise you, I can find 10 good men. Now remember, he's talking to God who knows everything and is all-powerful. So he knows there's nobody in Sodom and Gomorrah that can even remotely be considered good. They've not chosen the path of good, which was supposed to be their choice. So why does God keep interfering with my world? I'm actually taking this personal, but that's another point. I'm pointing out that God is the worst father ever. And this is just one more example of it. He interferes to destroy people that were doing nothing more than exercising their free will. The fact that they were choosing evil, me, was somehow too offensive for him, which I don't understand. God doesn't make mistakes. So that can't really be what's happening. But okay, I digress. So anyway, Abraham trying to talk God out of destroying Sodom and Gomorrah. And he comes up with this harebrained idea that if Abraham finds 10 good people, 10 good men in Sodom and Gomorrah, that God will somehow spare, will keep Sodom and Gomorrah from being destroyed. Sure, why wouldn't God agree to that? He already knows no way that's going to happen. But Abraham soldiers on. He tries to find 10 good people. And of course, it had to be pretty freaky for him. If Sodom and Gomorrah are like split into 2 cities, you definitely know that Sodom was the place you go to get your freak on. That's the place, that's for the good time. That's where I suspect those angels were going. Although they don't have sex. But for some reason, they're attracted to that. Because lo and behold, Lot, a relative, a cousin of Abraham, is in his home. And who does he have at the dining table? He has angels. Lot has angels. So Abraham is coming across and he finds his cousin who is having dinner with angels. This is a good sign. Abraham is pretty optimistic. He's already been looking around and there's the freakiest stuff going on. People are getting their asses chewed off. Man, goats sucking dicks. And oh man, who knows what's going on. But whatever the freaking stuff was going on, here was a possibility. Lot having dinner with angels. That is good. Well, what do you think happens? Weird stuff. Townspeople, local people, find out that Lot has angels over for dinner, and they're all gathering around outside of his house. And they're screaming for Lot to send the angels out. So, yes, it's true. So the people can have sex with the angels. Now, I'm an immortal being. We don't have sex. We don't have bodies. We don't need to eat. We don't need to poop. We don't need to have sex. The only thing we can do is inhabit human beings. So yes, I suppose indirectly we can eat and even have sex. But not really. But for whatever reason, these people they had to have sex with. Because after all, you're in Sodom, the freakiest, sexiest, kinkiest city in the universe. Okay. So that's what they're going to do. So